Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. A man doesn't miss what is always in his face. A man misses what he can't reach, what he can't control, and what he thought he could take for granted. You want a man to cry missing you. You've got to give him something worth crying over. See, a woman's power is not in chasing a man, it's in knowing she doesn't have to. A woman's independence is one of the most powerful forces a man will ever encounter. When a woman knows who she is, what she wants, and what she deserves, she carries herself differently. She becomes a mystery, a challenge, a blessing, and a prize all at once. Independence is not just about having your own money or career. It's about having your own sense of self. It's about knowing that your happiness does not depend on whether a man stays or leaves. It's the confidence that you bring value into someone's life, and that value won't disappear just because they don't recognize it. When a man sees a woman fully grounded in herself, he realizes she is not waiting on him to complete her. That's what makes him afraid to lose her and desperate to keep her. A man misses a woman when he feels the absence of her presence, her energy, her joy. But if she is always readily available, always responding instantly, always adjusting her life to fit his convenience, he begins to take her for granted without even noticing it. Independence shifts that dynamic. When she invests in her purpose, her passions, her growth, he realizes she has a world outside of him. He sees her living, not longing. He sees her building, not begging. And that makes him rethink every decision he's made about her. That's the moment he begins to miss her. Because now he sees she doesn't need him, she chooses him. And when a man feels he is a choice and not a necessity, that choice suddenly becomes more important to him. A woman who stays focused on her journey automatically demands respect. She becomes a woman a man wants to rise up for, not someone he can slack off with. The more she elevates herself, the more he feels he must elevate himself to match her. But if he steps back, disappears, or doubts her value for a moment, he will feel the weight of her independence like a punch. He will look around and realize she is still moving forward. He will wonder how she is so strong without him. He will question if she even thinks about him anymore. That questioning turns into regret. That regret turns into longing. And that longing becomes the kind of missing that hurts. Independence doesn't mean shutting a man out or proving you can do everything alone. It means you are whole with or without him. It means you love deeply, but never lose yourself in love. It means you support him, but never stop supporting yourself. When a man feels that, when he sees a woman with self-respect, goals, discipline, and boundaries, he knows she is not just any woman. She is the kind of woman he may never find again. A man misses the woman who refuses to shrink herself just to keep him comfortable. He cries missing the woman who shines with her own light, because deep down he knows that once she walks away, that light no longer belongs to him. Setting boundaries and standards isn't about pushing a man away. It's about teaching him how to treat you. When a woman clearly communicates what she will and will not accept, she gives a man a roadmap to her heart, Some people think boundaries create distance, but in reality, they create respect. They show a man that access to you is a privilege, not a guarantee. And when he understands that privilege can be lost, he suddenly becomes very aware of your value. A man will not miss a woman who tolerates disrespect or makes excuses for his inconsistency. But he will miss the woman who holds him accountable because her absence forces him to see the difference between what he had and what he deserved to lose. When you have boundaries, you don't chase after someone who walks away. You don't beg for attention that should be given freely. You don't settle for half love, half effort, or half communication. And when a man notices that you are willing to walk away from anything that doesn't align with your standards, he begins to realize that you are not like the rest. He sees that you don't fear being alone. You fear wasting your time. That realization alone can make a man's heart ache, because suddenly he understands that if he doesn't step up, another man will rise to the opportunity without hesitation. Boundaries also protect your peace. You're no longer drained by trying to prove your worth. A man notices when you shift your attention from him to yourself. He notices when you decide that your emotions matter too. That shift, that moment when you stop pleading and start prioritizing yourself, is the exact moment he begins to miss you. He remembers the comfort you provided. He remembers the support you gave without question. He remembers the love that made him feel like he mattered. And when that stops, when that door closes, he realizes how much he depended on it. Men respect what challenges them. A woman who demands respect through her standards becomes unforgettable. When you tell him, "These are my expectations," and you stand by them, you separate yourself from every woman who's settled. And when he can't meet the standard, he will feel the emptiness that follows. He will replay the things you once tolerated and regret every moment he thought you would always stay. He will think about the times you tried to communicate, the times you gave him chances, the times you stayed silent because your heart was tired. Those memories become the weight that presses on his chest at night. You see, boundaries don't push love away, they filter out the wrong love. And when a man realizes he has been filtered out, when he sees that your life continues without his presence, when he recognizes that you refuse to compromise your worth just to keep him comfortable, that's when he cries missing you, because he lost a woman who was willing to give everything, but only if she received the right kind of love in return. When a woman focuses on her emotional and physical glow up, she becomes a force that a man can't ignore. Growth is attractive. Healing is powerful when you start becoming the best version of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. The man who once took you for granted begins to feel the loss. He sees a woman who is evolving without him, and that is a feeling no man forgets. You are no longer stuck in the pain he caused or the disappointment he left behind. Instead, you use that hurt as fuel to elevate your life. And when a man witnesses that transformation, he becomes overwhelmed with the fear that he no longer belongs in your future. A glow up shows him that his absence did not break you. It shows him that your happiness is not tied to his behavior. You didn't collapse when he created distance. You rebuilt yourself stronger. You didn't go searching for validation. You created your own. You chose peace over chaos, confidence over insecurity, and self-love over the desire to be chosen. That is what makes him miss you. He remembers the days you waited for his message, the moments you accepted the bare minimum, the times you hoped he would step up, and now he sees a woman who stepped up for herself instead. A physical glow up also hits a man hard. When you start taking care of yourself, investing in your beauty, dressing confidently, and walking like you know your worth, he can't help but look twice. He sees the glow in your smile, the light in your eyes, and the power in your posture. He wonders who is making you laugh like that. He questions what inspired this new energy, and he fears that another man will recognize what he failed to cherish. That fear turns into jealousy. Jealousy turns into insecurity, and insecurity turns into regret. And regret is what makes him stay awake at night missing you. But the deepest glow up is the internal one, the one nobody sees but everyone feels. It's the healing of your heart, the rebuilding of your confidence, and the strengthening of your boundaries. When a woman becomes emotionally stronger, she doesn't react the same way. She doesn't cry over the same things. She doesn't allow the same excuses. And when he tries to come back with old behavior, she doesn't entertain it. That change is what shakes him to his core, because he realizes he no longer has the power he once thought he had. A man cries missing the woman who didn't allow heartbreak to define her. He cries missing the woman who transformed her pain into power. He cries missing the woman who once needed him but now chooses herself. That glow up, that evolution, becomes a reminder of what he lost. Every time he sees you shine, he remembers the moments he dimmed your light. Every time he sees you smile, he remembers the times he made you cry. And every time he sees you thriving without him, he realizes he should have done better when he had the chance. When a woman stops chasing and allows a man to lead, that's when he begins to truly feel her absence. Men are wired to pursue, to conquer, to value what they have to work for. But when everything comes too easy, when attention is handed to them without effort, they become lazy with love. They assume she will always be there, always replying, always waiting, always forgiving. The moment a woman steps back, the moment she decides that she will no longer carry the emotional weight of the relationship alone, the energy shifts. He suddenly feels the emptiness where her presence used to be, and that emptiness becomes a hole in his heart that no distraction can fill. When you stop chasing, you give him space to realize what you meant to him. You're not pulling away out of anger. You're simply choosing peace over confusion. You stop repeating yourself to a man who refuses to listen. You stop texting first. You stop begging for clarity. That silence becomes louder than anything you ever said. He begins to wonder why your message isn't lighting up his phone anymore. He questions why your love doesn't feel as accessible as it used to. And that wondering turns into worry. Worry becomes fear. Fear becomes missing, the kind of missing that shakes his confidence. A woman who knows her worth doesn't fight for a spot in a man's life. She lets him show whether he wants her there. When he doesn't step up, she steps back. When he pulls away, she doesn't chase, she watches. And that patience is powerful because a man who truly cares will feel the distance and move toward her. A man who took her for granted will feel the distance and panic. When a man realizes that silence is coming from the woman who used to care too much, that realization hits harder than any argument ever could. Letting him lead doesn't mean allowing him to control you. It means giving him the chance to show effort, consistency, and intention. If he fails to do that, he will feel the consequences. Another man will give her the attention he ignored. Another man will see the value he overlooked. Another man will love her the way he never learned to. And that thought will keep him awake at night, wondering if he has already been replaced. A man cries missing the woman who gave him space to show up but didn't wait around when he chose not to. He cries missing the woman who believed in him but stopped lowering her standards to make him comfortable. He cries missing the woman who once chased after him because now she walks with grace and confidence, knowing that if he truly wanted her, he would make sure she felt wanted. When a woman stops chasing, she becomes the prize again. And a man will always miss the prize he thought would always be his. When a woman creates emotional memories that a man can't replace, she becomes a part of him in ways he never expected. A man might forget the conversations, the arguments, even the reasons things ended, but he will never forget how a woman made him feel, the laughter they shared, the comfort she gave, the softness of her voice during his hardest nights. Those moments stay with him long after she's gone. He can meet new people. He can distract himself. He can even pretend he's moved on. But the heart doesn't lie. The heart remembers who made it feel safe, supported, and understood. That's why emotional connection is where the real attachment forms. Not in what she gave physically, but in the way she touched his soul. Women love deeply and fully. They give love that heals, that inspires, that motivates. And when a man is lucky enough to receive that kind of love, it becomes his source of strength. She becomes the person he calls when he succeeds and the one he turns to when he fails. She becomes the reason he smiles after a long day and the one who understands him without him having to explain. When she walks away, the world feels different for him, colder, heavier, and lonelier. He tries to fill the void with noise and distractions, but nothing feels the same because she wasn't noise, she was peace. It's the little memories that break him the most. The way she said his name, her laughter at the jokes only they understood, the random texts that made his whole day better, the inside jokes and future plans they built together. Those memories don't fade, they echo. A scent, a song, a familiar street, or even a simple phrase can bring her back into his mind like she never left. And every time she comes to his mind, he realizes just how deeply she impacted his life. A man doesn't cry missing a woman who gave him convenience. He cries, missing the woman who gave him irreplaceable moments. He realizes that her love was pure, that her loyalty was real, and that he didn't appreciate it when he had it. That regret becomes heartbreak. That heartbreak becomes longing, and longing becomes the kind of missing that doesn't go away no matter how much time passes. What truly haunts a man is when he sees her happy without him, because he remembers the joy he once brought to her life, and now someone else might be giving her that same joy. He fears that another man will experience the love he once took for granted. He fears someone else will be the reason she laughs the way she used to laugh with him, and that fear turns into emotional pain he can't hide or ignore. A woman who leaves emotional fingerprints on a man's soul becomes a memory he carries for life. He may move on with someone else, but he will secretly measure every new woman against the one who made him feel both loved and alive. That kind of love doesn't fade. That kind of woman is unforgettable. And that's exactly why he cries missing her. Being rare, unique, and unforgettable is not something a woman pretends to be. It's who she naturally becomes when she fully embraces her worth. A man doesn't cry missing a woman who is common, compliant, or predictable. He cries missing a woman who brought something into his life that no one else ever has. When a woman carries herself with grace, authenticity, and confidence, she stands out in a world full of temporary attention and superficial attraction. She is the kind of woman who leaves an imprint on a man's heart, not because she tried to impress him, but because she showed him the kind of love, peace, and energy he may never find again. A rare woman isn't afraid of being different. She is soft but strong, loving but firm, romantic but independent. She knows when to hold on, and she knows when to walk away. She doesn't compete for a man's attention because she knows her value is not measured by who chooses her. It is measured by who understands what she brings to the table and refuses to lose it. She doesn't chase approval. She carries self-respect, and that alone is what makes her unforgettable. Men become attached to women who leave a legacy in their lives. The rare woman teaches a man new perspectives. She opens his heart to deeper emotional experiences. She supports his dreams, encourages his growth, and inspires him to believe he can rise higher than he ever has. She doesn't just love him, she elevates him. And the moment she steps away, he feels as though life has dropped a level in quality. Conversations aren't as meaningful. Achievements aren't as exciting. Even the silence feels heavier. Because she wasn't just a part of his world, she improved it. A unique woman protects her heart with wisdom. She knows when to give, and she knows when giving becomes draining. She doesn't tolerate half effort or inconsistent behavior. She understands that love without respect is a slow heartbreak. So if a man fails to appreciate her, she walks away before she allows her spirit to break. But even in her absence, she remains kind in her memory. She doesn't destroy his name or seek revenge. Her silence is powerful enough to teach the lesson. What makes her unforgettable is the combination of her standards and her compassion. She is loving without losing herself. She is loyal without being blind. She is caring without being a doormat. A man remembers that. He remembers how she saw the best in him even when he couldn't see it in himself. He remembers how she remained patient when others would have given up. He remembers how she brought warmth into his coldest moments, and when she leaves, he realizes he may never feel that warmth again. The rare woman doesn't need to convince a man of her value. Time will do that for her. And time does not show mercy to a man who has lost a woman like her. It reveals every mistake he made. It highlights every moment he chose pride over love. It reminds him that loyalty is not promised twice. As he watches her shine without his presence, he finally understands that he lost more than just a person. He lost a blessing. When a man cries missing a woman like her, he isn't crying because he is alone. He is crying because he knows he had something extraordinary and wasn't wise enough to keep it. He cries because he can't forget her voice, her laughter, her energy, or the way she made life feel meaningful. He cries because he knows another man will one day experience what he failed to cherish. And that truth hurts more than anything else. A rare woman is not the one he remembers for a while. She is the one he remembers forever.